Anyway, we do it live.
We live?
We do it live. Yep. We're here. We're queer.
I knew you were.
Spoilers. Uh, but let's see. Welcome to friends, family, and beloved and all. What is how you say that shit? Come one, come all to the sixth annual.
Is it?
I think so. We got one, two, three, and then we did another one. Fifth annual.
There you go.
I
Don't help
have
requires that time.
I have fingers. We'll make this work. Um, and
Once we get past 10, then a trade can't count.
listen, if you had to break
You
out
have
the
to take his
toes,
shoes and his socks off in order to
right?
get past.
As long as my little grippers are hanging out, then we're fine. I can go up to at least 20.
Oh my God. I go to 21. I'll take
Uh,
your pants off, though, for that one.
I get that. Um, dude, let's dive into this shit because hands down, this movie was fucking awesome.
Can I spoil something for you?
Sure.
The director for this one was the director for the first one.
That's what I thought. Ridley Scott, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I seen the name in the beginning. I said that name is important. I don't know who the fuck that is, but he's important. I said I'm pretty sure he's the guy from the first one.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, this movie was awesome, dude. Like, and it's so funny because before hey, let's let huge, massive caveat, massively round butt in front of all of this praise is that if number two is not good, this movie's fucking gonna tank in terms of like how much I enjoyed it, which is a weird thing to say, but everything good about it was setting up the next one. That's what made it good. Because it was exciting, it was well shot, the acting was great, the scenes were intense, it was kind of fucking scary, especially at certain moments. I'm like, ooh. It was awesome, but nothing fucking happened at all. Um, the most you could try and say, well, they set up. Look, it's like a prequel to the first one. See, there's the ship. That's not the ship, because they did not have fucking cement jars in there, and they had eggs, and also the pilot was in the ship. There, the dude hopped out of the cockpit of the ship and ran after what's her name. So he was no
Maybe he
longer
drank all.
sitting. Huh?
Maybe he drank all the goo.
What?
The alien.
Oh, you think the one got out? But I mean, like, what does it have to make all those eggs? I mean, I don't know. I don't know how they make the eggs. Maybe that's what it was.
Mhm.
It like turned it into a little colony.
We don't know.
Right, and it's not so important. These are things I think that are a little nitpicky. But I'm like, if you're going to go
Mhm.
out of your way to explicitly show, look, it's the same thing you saw in the first one. You really got to do a good job at making sure you get it right. I feel like that's not hard to do either,
Mhm.
which is why I feel a little bit more free about giving such a critique. Because even though it didn't matter, I think probably some shitty reviewers would be like, it's fucking awful and dog shit, and it's like, no, it's fine. They kind of dropped the
I think
ball though on a
Prometheus did
couple
well.
things.
I
Um,
don't know
but it was
exactly what
cool
was
enough.
the.
Sorry, go ahead.
What is that? I think Prometheus did well. I don't remember it being like everybody being like, "What the fuck?"
Oh, gotcha. Cause yeah, even if like the dots didn't connect perfectly, it was really awesome to see. Like, oh shit, that's the same ship from that one. Um, so it's like even if it's not a one-to-one perfect translation of whatever, fuck it, I'm cool with that. But overall, yeah, nothing happened in this movie. It was a complete, just like sort of empty thing. But at the very end of the movie, I was like on the edge of my seat. I was like, oh baby, I gotta watch the second one right now. I almost didn't want to wait till next week because I was like just hooked. So I think overall that's a pretty good sign that the movie was fucking awesome. Also, it had Fassbender, so am I really surprised? Like anything he's in is gonna be good. Um, but the intro was cool. I think because it's very important. I guess at this point we talk about the intro and how it sets the stage for the movie because
Yeah.
they always do that. This one was a little weird. I guess not weird, but it was very different. I felt like the beginning was some like cool intro in like Greenland or Iceland or something. I think later on you find out it's Scotland. I was like, damn, got it wrong. Um,
Yeah.
but
I was guessing Ireland, but they may have actually like filmed it somewhere else.
true, it could have said it was there, but been filmed in a totally different location.
Right.
But it looked really cool. But yeah, it was definitely this different feeling of like adventure into the beautiful unknown. And then I'm like, that's not aliens. Then the movie kicks off, and I'm like, oh shit, it's about an adventure into the beautiful unknown. Like, fucking perfect. So the intro did a really good job, I think, of setting the stage of what you wanted the people to feel.
Yeah.
So even though it was different, really well done. Um,
Oh, they were actually filmed in Scotland.
nice. Um, what the intro though, I gotta say, after that part, after like the cinematic intro, when the alien dude shows up and things start happening, it fucking confused me. I had been drinking, but Jesus, I was confused as fuck for like the first 10 minutes of that until they actually get on the ship and they're like flying and like all the people come
Yeah.
awake. I had no idea what was going on. What did I miss? What he like disintegrated his body into DNA strands in the water?
That's still not really extrapolated upon in the movie.
Uh,
The hell he was doing.
right.
I
Okay.
just don't remember it being extrapolated upon.
Right. It has something to do with like the little DNA black
But
goo that he puts in what's her
the
name?
goo
Or,
causes like rapid evolution.
something like yeah, something like that.
Causes like rapid evolution in a being, but I guess the engineers are perfect beings. So instead of evolving them, it turns into little organic life form microorganisms, and he was like going into the water to add life into the water. I guess they sacrifice themselves to like seed planets with life or something.
Right.
I have
Something
no
like
idea.
that. That's what it seemed like.
Yeah,
Because it's like a ritual. He drinks the juice and then turns into a
right.
bunch of DNA.
Yeah, it definitely looked like he was trying to do something there. So they're probably seeding the planet with life, especially if they mentioned that that Earth is like seeded by them, right?
Right. That's like this. The creator, right? But yeah, it was weird too how it reacts though, like because he puts it inside what's his name, and then he didn't turn into an alien. Um, he turned into like a monster, I guess.
It was an evolved human.
I guess was it evolved? I mean, it looked like he was dying. His skin was turning black. He looked like he was about to fall apart.
Well, he was in the process of the evolution.
Oh, you think it
We
was
never
gonna
got to
get?
see what he turned into. He turned into he got incinerated.
Huh? That was a fucking awesome scene though.
Imagine
He said, "Do it," and she burnt that motherfucker. I said, "Oh, she really burnt him."
he like they let him finish the process of whatever the fuck the goo does to him, and it turns him into an engineer. Like that's what they're called. The
Yeah,
he just turns into one of those guys.
maybe. But then I thought so. Then he ends up having like a weird alien baby with what's her name? I thought that was a little
Yeah,
weird. I was like, so it makes
yeah,
aliens? I was like, but
yeah. I don't know.
that's why I'm
Maybe
waiting for
that's what
number
he was
two.
gonna turn into, right?
Huh?
So his baby turned into that thing.
Maybe. That's right. So he would have been turning one of those?
But then that thing was like kind of a face hugger,
Right. It
and
was
then
a
that thing
giant
like
facehugger.
attached itself to the engineer unit, implanted into the engineer, and created the weird alien looking thing.
Right, because it jumped in. What's his name? The cool guy with the attitude. Because the
Hmm?
one like snake thing jumped inside of him, and it just turned him
Oh,
into a zombie.
right.
So I'm like, that turned him into a zombie, and then that turned other guy into like a crazy like he looked like he was just dying. His skin turned black, and he just was gonna die, but we don't know. And then
Right.
he has a baby with her, which grows immediately in like 2 days or a singular day into like 3 months of a face hugger.
Right.
I don't know.
A massive face hugger.
Right, that thing was fucking huge by the end of the movie. um, so yeah, I don't know really what it does, but maybe it's like you said, some kind of just generic evolution thing.
Mm-hmm.
But then the captain mentions that this is like a military installation, and that
Mm-hmm.
these are like organic weapons they drop on planets to kill them.
That's what he said, but we don't know because we never
Right.
get the
I was wondering. I
engineer's
said,
perspective.
how did he get that information?
He just assumed because that's how humans are,
It makes sense
right?
though, right? When he said it, I was like, oh, it makes sense because there's no civilization out here. There's no buildings. There's no structures. It's just this tiny ass base with some ships on it. So it
It looked
does.
like I think they mentioned it looks like they're in the process of terraforming this planet. Whenever something happened, and it fucked them all up.
Right.
Mm.
Which is interesting. We never find out what they're running from.
I guess the goo like fuck one of them up and they turn into aliens or something, or like what happened, like it's some kind of bad experiment gone wrong.
Probably, yeah. Because yeah, they were all running, and I guess they all died. Because yeah, they were running from something, and then one dude was on the
Look at
ship.
something burst out of them.
Oh yeah, they did say that with the
One of
piles of
them
body in
mentioned
the
that it looked
wall.
like, yeah.
Yeah, he said looks like something jumped out of his chest. I was like, huh. So the aliens got him. I was like, but didn't they make the aliens? And I was like, weird. But I guess just because they made them doesn't mean they can't escape. Same shit happened with the humans, right?
Right.
Um, but let's see. Um, yeah, the intro still confused me. They had the whole scene with like she lost her mom, and I was like, is that important? Does that matter? Is that supposed to be like what is that? Why are they showing me this? And I think they bring it up later in like one singular
I must say
scene.
they, like it fuels their like it's just my inner bullshittery English teacher shit. So like both scientists, they're missing parents. The other guy doesn't mention he's missing parents, but the way he talks about how could they abandon us? Like what I want to know these answers. Like the way it's very weighted. The way he talks about the engineers when he's searching for our makers. What he calls them.
Right.
Um, so it sounds more like a teenager finding out, trying to figure out why his dad left him.
I see. They did have a
So
couple of moments that were pretty fucking good with Fassbender. Oh baby.
I love
Uh,
that finger.
when he the way he delivered some of those lines, oh my god. Because he was talking shit, like when dude was like drunk as fuck. By the way, why did he just spiral out of control? Because he found a couple dead dudes. He just shows up and he's fucking trash, has a whole bottle. Fuck this, mission's over, life sucks. I'm like, wow. Where'd
Oh,
that
you're
come
talking
from?
about the scientists? Yeah,
Yeah.
because he wanted to find the engineers. They're all dead. So he wanted to know the answers. So that's the scene I was talking about, where the way he talks about the engineers is like a person who was like who had their parents left them.
I
But it
see.
was the creators. So he's like, this mission was a waste of fucking time. All the engineers are dead. We're never gonna get answers for where we come from.
Oh, I
Uh,
see. Poor bastard.
he he definitely got the shit into the stick. I feel like his character definitely needed more time.
Right. And more lines, more something, because it all happened
Right.
so fast.
Uh-huh.
Um, because I think he had potential. You know, he was at least interesting enough.
Mhm.
My two favorites are definitely the biologist and the fucking geologist. Those two
Um,
are great. From the moment they introduced him, he was like, "Hey," said something to him. He's like, "I'm not here to make fucking friends, and I just woke up. Leave me alone."
the like rocks, the
Yeah,
geologist. Okay,
those
yeah,
two, they were fucking great. I was like,
I love the
"No,
geologist.
why
I
did
fucking
they
was
have to
funny.
die?" They were fucking funny.
I'm just here to get paid.
Right? Oh, the intro with what's her name was stupid. The daughter of the old man.
Yeah,
She starts doing push-ups and shit. She's like out of the tube for 2 minutes, not even like 30 seconds. Runs over to a room and just starts doing push-ups, soaking wet and whatever that goo is.
might have got out at first,
What?
or maybe they took shifts. Who gets out?
No, they all got out. It was right before they all got out at the same time. She just happened
No,
to get out a little bit
the
early.
trip took like a couple years.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying that like we didn't see the entire trip. Maybe they each got out separately at different times. Like, oh, you take a shift for a couple months. You take a shift for a couple months.
Right, that's not what I'm talking about, though, I guess. I'm talking about the fact that within seconds of being woke up, she's doing push-ups and has this whole little montage of, like, look at how badass I am. And I was like, then everyone else gets up, and when they do, they're, like, sick and
That's
vomiting.
what I'm saying. She was probably already out.
No, she was dripping wet. She was literally still in, like, the cryo gear, like, been soaking wet, and you saw the footprints coming from the cryo chamber.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, they were
I don't
just
know.
trying to hype her up, like, way too much. It was
I
overly...
guess, yeah, maybe.
Especially then,
She, de-
right after that, they
she
showed
definitely got
everyone
like
else throwing
this.
up.
I don't know. She definitely also didn't have enough screen time, but
No, I liked her towards the end. I thought she was great towards the
towards
end.
the end, I love from the moment she has the flamethrower till the end.
Right.
I like her.
Because she was pretty good. The whole reveal of father, I was like, yeah, saw that coming a mile away. So that
I
wasn't
didn't
really a
care for
reveal.
that. I was like, whatever.
Right, that shit didn't really add to the movie at all. But everything else, I thought she was really
She
good.
wants him to die so that she can inherit, and then that dude wants to fucking gain eternal life from the aliens.
Right.
For some reason, he believes that they'll give him eternal life.
I mean, hey, what's he got to lose, right? But yeah, no, she was great though. Fucking all the who was the dude? Who were some of these actors though? Like who's the captain of the ship? Who the fuck is that guy? I've
Oh,
seen
you saw him?
I saw him in something recently.
He's Bloodsport from Suicide Squad.
Yeah, there it is.
Good.
I knew I
He's
seen
also
that fucking
Heimdall
shit.
in Thor.
Yo, cool. I can see it in the eyes now.
He's Knuckles in Sonic.
That's
Um,
cool.
he's in a lot. He's really good.
Right? Did you see Wong was in there?
He's how is it? Wong, yeah, Wong. I was gonna ask you if you saw Wongers before
It
he
took
got
me the
back.
whole movie, like not the whole movie, but like right towards the end, he was sitting and he turned and said something. I said, "Is that
Yeah,
Wong?"
he's the guy who made the bet with the other fucking guy.
That shit was great, dude. I said, "Fucking Wongers." And then the main chick, the scientist lady, she seemed really familiar too.
Yeah, I think she was very familiar to me, but I don't know. I don't think I've seen her in anything.
Got you.
She's British, so you think she's familiar. The
They all look alike.
uh the blonde one that was doing the push-ups, she's Furiosa from um Mad Max, the newer one.
Oh, what is her? Charlize Theron. Thurston.
Yeah, Charlize Theron.
I've seen her before. Like at least I know like that name.
Yeah, she's very popular.
Um, let's see. She was in Monster. I didn't know that. That movie's crazy. It's about like some crazy lesbian chicks. They go around killing people. I think I haven't seen it since I was a very child. Like, but now what else? Who is I'm looking for? Um, the other main lady.
The British one?
Is her name? Is it Numi?
Yeah, it's Numi Rapace
Yeah,
or Rapace. No, it's yeah.
Numi Rapace. Alien Covenant. Is that the next one we're watching?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. What else does she play in? Let's see. Dead Man. Sherlock Holmes. I never saw it though. Bright. Never saw it. Let's see. The Divide. Rolling Stones.
She's in a lot of European movies.
Right. I don't know. Maybe she just looks familiar. Has that kind of face, you know.
Right.
But yeah, all the acting was fucking awesome though. All the characters are cool. Let's see. They laid it on too thick a few times though. I will say there was a lot of this movie. I think some of it, if it wasn't so thick.
Did we ever see the old man as the young man?
No.
Also, why'd they hire a young guy to play him? I was so confused.
Oh, it was a young guy that was all makeup.
Yeah.
Huh.
I was like, that guy looks familiar, and I IMDb'd him mid-movie, and I was like, oh, it's Guy Pearce. What the fuck? I
That's kind of funny.
was like, why did they hire him?
Right, just get a regular old guy because his role wasn't important enough that you could have just got
Maybe
anyone.
it was a deleted scene where we got to see him when he was younger, and they wanted an actual younger actor. I don't know.
It's possible. They may have had plans that we didn't know about, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of this stuff I think it didn't take away from the movie at all. But they definitely tried too hard and like a bunch of lines. Like in the very beginning or close to it, he's talking to what's the robot's name? Daniel. Something.
David.
David, yeah. He's talking to David and he was like, "You'll never have a soul," or some shit. And it came like out of left field the way he said it, and I was like, "Oh,
Right.
here we go, sad robot moment coming by the end of the movie."
It's pronounced Solomacro.
It was just like, I don't know. That card's pretty good, by the way. Still,
Right.
let's see, what else. I do like that cool comment the dude made, the fucking biologist. It was like, "Yeah, we know who created us or something," and blah blah. And he was like, "Yeah, sure. And what proof do you have?" I was like, "Yeah, dude, say something smart," because like normally in movies they just all get so serious, right? And like they try and
Yeah.
hype up the story and shit. He was like, "Yeah, if you're gonna discount 3 centuries worth of Darwinism, I expect you to have some proof." I was like, "That's awesome. That's the kind of dickhead response I expect from a pompous asshole scientist." So that was really cool. Um, again, this is so funny. Some stuff is like so predictable. I guess it was like separate life module she talks about when they go see her thing. I was like,
Right.
"Yep, they're going back to there at a crucial moment sometime later in the film. I did think it was to go run and hide. I didn't think it was to
They
do surgery.
pointed that motherfucker out, so like, yeah.
But yeah, Fassbender again, dude. That's like half the movie was just awesome. All his lines. He was because he
Did you
said
notice
something.
that he was dyeing his hair at the beginning of the movie?
Yeah, he tried to be like a regular boy. Or tried to be
He
with whatever.
he doesn't like the hair color he has as an android.
Right.
So he dyes it blonde.
That's cool. He had a lot of personality, definitely, and it wasn't like weirdly done like the last movie. I feel like it came off pretty organic. Doo-doo.
He's not organic. He's synthetic.
Pun intended.
But
But yeah, he had his little stuff, man. The thing is, like, that's why they call it a thesis, Doctor. And he looked at that motherfucker. I said, "Oh baby!" I said, "This movie's getting good."
And this takes place way further back, so he's supposed to be like the first model, right? He's the first robot android, whatever.
Is he? Oh yeah. He would have been one of the oldest ones, right?
Right.
Let's see. Oh yeah, again. So I'm looking through my notes here. Again, another Fassbender fucking awesome line. He's sitting there. He's like, "Why are you wearing the suit?" He was like, going back and forth, and he was like, "Yeah, they're making you guys pretty close, huh?" He just smiles and looks at him. "Not too close, I hope." And then just fucking puts the helmet on. I said, "Oh baby, dude." But also like the sad part is I thought he was gonna be a bad guy. I don't even know if he might be a bad guy by the end of the movie. He just started doing like more dickhead level shit. I'm like, Fassbender, no, you're a good man. But yeah, I don't know what his motivations were. I don't think we ever found out. Because it was clear he was working for the dad. Like he was working for somebody, which we found out later was him.
But he was curious as an alien, like as himself, because like the whole giving the goo to the scientists wasn't part of Wayland's name.
That's what I was wondering. I was like, so did he want that? Was he like trying to see if that made him immortal to give it to the old man? And he was a test?
Maybe he was testing it to for the old man.
Right, because like, hey, if this works and makes you immortal, then I'll give it to him and he'll be fine.
Right.
But yeah, he started doing like some devious shit by the end. I'm like, uh-oh, I don't know if I trust this motherfucker. He might be a bad robot. Which is cool though, because it definitely has cool callbacks to like the first one where it seemed like Sal or whatever his name is, Sam. It almost seemed like he was the one curious when he was dissecting that motherfucker.
Right.
Even though he had orders to bring just that alien back, it seemed like he had his own agenda too, which was really cool. Also, one thing I really loved is like how you didn't know if you didn't have context. This was a part of the Alien franchise, even like after 30 minutes in. Which I really appreciate because they didn't just slap the alien sticker on there and say, "Look, look, look, aliens, aliens! Look at the IP. Come and give us your money." It kind of felt like its own movie in a way.
Right. They had the Wayland Corp on their shirt, so if you were into the Alien series and you know about the Wayland organization or corporation, then you would know instantly. But
got you.
That's for like super fans, right?
Right. I didn't know that. I never caught that, but it's been forever since I watched the first one. A couple months anyway.
Well, I was like, oh yeah, they're trying to hide the alien stuff, and I was like, they're wearing a big old Wayland Corporation shirt the entire movie. I was like, they call him Peter Wayland all the time. Like,
right.
I guess you have to know that. You have to be that involved in the Alien franchise.
Right. But yeah, I like that because it was subtle, and when it finally tied back in, it was rewarding, and it wasn't like oversaturated.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's cool, man. Cool way to have your own movie and to make it interesting. So I'm just excited, I guess, of what they did because it seemed like the ones up until now have always just been, how do we do number one but different? So this actually feels like a fresh start for an entire like new series and shit. So I'm pretty excited to see where it's gonna go. But just all the moments, man, all the cool moments. He's like fucking comes out. He said, "Unleash the hounds," and then fucking sends those robots out. Such a cool little part. Like that's what makes movies cool is little shit like that. Then that fucker, dude, he removed the helmet. Dog, there is no way I'm doing that shit. When they're like sitting there,
they realized it was breathable air.
Nah, they said the scanner says it's breathable. You don't fucking know that. The scanner could be lying. There is no way in hell I'm taking that fucking helmet off.
Yes, yes, faith.
Yeah,
He
clearly.
believes. He believes.
That fucker got lucky the atmosphere worked. I said, what if you're walking down the corridor and you turn the corner and like you go through an area and it doesn't have atmosphere? You're fucking dead. There's no way I'm walking around this planet with no helmet on. But that shit was funny though. Yeah, just cool characters. Then they come back. The fucker, he said, "I'm out of here. I love rocks, not giant dead bodies." Oh, shit was funny. And then he got fucking lost. Stupid
Him and the other guy
motherfucker.
both got lost.
I like it in terms of a storytelling device. Like, it's just fucking hilarious. They were so, like, scared and said, "We're getting the fuck out of here." And they got completely lost and died. That's what you get, you stupid scaredy fucks. But it just sucks that they did it with the context of the movie, because there's no way they would have got lost. He had the fucking hounds to tell him how to get back. So,
I don't understand how the goo didn't start leaking with the worms. Like, if the goo affects the worms, why didn't it activate around whenever the worms were? Because the worms, was it one of them stepped on the ground near the fucking goo, and then worms popped out of the ground,
right.
and the goo started activating.
Right.
Um,
I thought it was because the atmosphere was like depressurized or something, that it was in containment.
Maybe.
Because like I thought it was like starting to melt down was the way it
I thought the
seemed.
goo was changing the atmosphere, but I have no idea.
Well, before they opened like the gate, before the door opened, that even that dude's head was like perfectly preserved.
Oh, right, yeah.
So the room was in a state of like perfect preservation, and I wonder if that's because like it was about to be fucked up. Like when they locked it down, essentially, all the goo was going haywire and killing everybody or mutating them or something. And they're like, "We gotta shut this shit down." So they locked it down, and then when they opened the door, the stasis was like not working anymore, and that's when the goo started to overflow, and then the bugs come back to life, or the worms.
Yeah.
Which is a stupid thing though. Why the fuck would you have worms in your completely like sectioned off stasis room with all your goo that affects living beings? You'd think they would have put cement floors in at least. Like, not just dirt with bugs in it.
What? You don't put in your scientific room just a bunch of fucking dirt instead of
Right?
making a steel room?
That's my mistake. Sorry, I didn't realize what quarantine means.
You gotta make it like a temple too. For like, it looks like people worship a giant head.
Which was weird. I said, "What does that head do?" Because I think it's just a picture of them. It's just one of the regular dudes, like the blue guys. So I'm like, why do they have giant heads of themselves? Because it's not like Mount Rushmore or something, you know? Unless that's their leader. Because he has like tattoos on his face and shit. And we didn't see one that had tattoos on his face or anything. So I have to imagine maybe he's like the All-Father or some shit for them. And maybe he is their god.
Maybe.
Which would be interesting to find out in like the second and third ones. That's why I'm super... Is there 3?
There's only 2.
Oh, that sucks. I hope there's like
There's
a
a third one coming out this year that I think is supposed to be the sequel to the second one. But
Let's go, baby. I'm excited because yeah, there's
not this year, next year, 2024.
Boo! Oh, that's fine. Okay, I thought you meant next year, like the 25. But yeah.
This coming year.
Also, did you just funny that I had this little note. Did you see the main guy? How like perfectly chiseled and handsome he looked in some shots. I said, "Is that Commander Shepard from Mass Effect?" Because that fucker had like the exact jawline, 5 o'clock shadow, everything. I was like, good God. But yeah, David grabbed that fucking thing in there. I said, "David, tell me that's not a fucking egg, dude." The stress in this movie sometimes, like,
yeah.
But that's why it was so good. Every moment, I'm just like getting more stressed out. I'm like, what the fuck, man? What's gonna happen now? And then like, dude gets the sickness, and then she burns that fucker alive. I said, oh my God. Then that bitch has a fucking alien in her. There's just like shit happening all the time. I'm like, oh sweet Jesus. But yeah, all the characters had pretty good personality all throughout. They're exciting. I like that the dude he goes to bang the what's her name, Vickers. That shit is funny. Oh man, smooth talking bastard. I will say that was
Vickers?
Huh?
Which one was Vickers?
That's the captain lady or the other the daughter.
Yeah.
Cause she's like walking in, he starts talking shit to her.
Yeah.
Oh man, that shit's funny. But But I'll do Fassbender again. When the fuck he sees like when they take the helmet and see that guy has that fucking line. He said, "Mortal after all." That shit was fucked up. He said that in front of the doctors and everything.
Yeah.
I said, "Oh my god."
I mean, he was. That motherfucker wasn't a god. What shit?
Let's see. Oh yeah. Crazy motherfucker. He did it. I guess he yoked up the robot. Did they get who got into a fight or something? I have the note here. I'm like, holy shit, calm down, because somebody got yoked up midway through. But I don't have here who it was, and I want to say it was David, but I can't remember.
He got his head cut off by the engineer, and then he smacked the fucking old man with his head.
Was that it? Not important. Just it was just a little action, like that part that was like,
Right.
oh, cool. Let's see. Then they get the fucking guys get all my two guys, the poor adventurers. They got stuck out there overnight. They get all fucked up. Let's see. DNA canister. Do you hear like the Star Wars music in the cockpit when Fassbender had the whole like ship star map up? Thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, it sounds like Star Wars esque.
A little bit, yeah.
That was really cool though. Did you see how thin Fassbender looked in some of those shots? I think particularly the shot when he was given what's her name in the examination.
Yeah, he did look really, really thin.
I was like, wow, that's not Magneto. He must have really bulked for.
This came out. Because the first one, this came out what, 2016?
I don't know.
2017 maybe. Prometheus. No, 2017 was the sequel. Prometheus came out in 2012. First Class came out in 2012 as well, I think, actually.
Huh. Weird. He looked so much more buff as Magneto.
I mean, he may have.
Unless maybe it's just the clothes and the lighting and the angles.
2011. He was in First Class first.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, he could have bulked up for X-Men First Class, and then he, like, stopped working out. And he slimmed down.
Right. Let's see.
And then bulk back up for the next X-Men.
Yeah.
Whatever that was.
Because I imagine that's a lot of work, and just because you're an actor, you don't want to live that lifestyle all the time.
Right.
Um,
I would say even Jason Momoa doesn't live that lifestyle. And that motherfucker.
He gets fat between movies.
He doesn't get fat. He gets a little like people were like, oh my god, Jason Momoa's gotten fat, and he's not even fucking fat. He just doesn't have a six pack.
Right. You know how hard that shit is, dude.
Right.
Fucking,
like, you can't maintain that.
No, even people will tell you, like anybody, athletes, shit like that. It's like, dude, you had to be like under 8% body fat or somewhere around there, 8 to 12, I think. And that's borderline unhealthy levels, especially 8 and under. It's
Right.
like it's just almost impossible to keep that up, especially of a man of his size. Because he's what, 6 something, 6'2", 6'3"?
Right.
Fucker's huge.
I think he's 6'4".
Well, when I say huge, no, he's not like NBA huge, but he's big. So like you have to eat a lot of calories to just maintain even like the weight that you have. And on top of that, you know, to like shred like that, it's even harder, I feel like, compared to like a smaller guy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, makes sense. But the movie was just cool, though. I don't even like. I'm looking through some of these notes and stuff. I'm like, man, there's not much to say because, like I mentioned, the movie is pretty empty.
He's 6'4", yeah. I was right on the money.
Nice. But let's see. Fucking Captain was awesome. Let's see. The old man shows up. Dude.
There's a lot of quiet shots in this movie, which I liked. Just like the looking at the scenery and shit.
Right. Why did the alien kill David? Why did he kill the robot?
We don't know.
Do we know what he said to him?
We know that what he told the alien. We don't know what the alien told him.
Well, he did. Well, I even had the subtitles on. Did I have subtitles on? Maybe I didn't have subtitles.
He spoke in whatever the alien's language was. Like
right.
he was studying Proto-Indo-European to try to like reverse engineer what the engineer's language might have been.
Right. So whatever he spoke to them, we don't know what it was, do we?
We know what Fassbender said to the aliens.
What did he
We don't
say?
know what he said. Whatever the fuck Wayland asked him, which was something about, "Can you make me immortal?"
But do we know that?
I mean, we don't know for a fact that's what he said, but we think that he was on Wayland's side, right? He was working for Wayland. He doesn't
Right.
have a will of his own. At least it seemed like the movie was hinting at that he might have a will of his own,
Right, right. That's
but
why I'm thinking he said something different,
maybe
and
it
then
gets
the
answered
alien
in the
got
next movie.
pissed. And I'm like, oh, whatever he said to him, he didn't like, clearly. Um, and he killed him first. He didn't go straight for the old man. So
Right.
I'm like, whatever he said pissed him off. There's no way, hey, can you make this old guy immortal? Would have pissed him off like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least it seems, less likely to me that that would be the case. But who knows? I don't know what they're like or what makes them angry. They're aliens. It could be anything. Um, but then I guess at some point they said it seemed like they're going to kill everyone on Earth. I wonder why. Like, what were they? They were bringing the goo to Earth, right? Like they had plans to bring the goo there.
Right. He
But they
probably
had
wanted evolve them faster.
right because they've already done that once, right? Um, it seems like the beginning shot was to sort of show that there was no life on this planet, but there was water, and then they made life there. And I'm like, okay, cool. If that's the case, then why would they come back and make more? It's already there. And then their theory on one of the crew members was that they're going to kill them. I'm like, kill them with what? They don't have any killing machines. Um,
Uh, pretty decent theory right now. It said that we saw the aliens like die whenever they were seeding that planet with life. Um, Creating new life creates sacrifice, and seeing that because he mentioned that David was created by Wayland, so there's no sacrifice to create David. He's creating synthetic life without sacrificing anything, and now he's sitting here in front of him. Uh, like the intent of everything they do
maybe.
to sacrifice themselves for life. They saw that ritual and whatever that they did to create
Right.
life on a planet.
Maybe he thought it's like a blasphemous. That's why he killed the robot.
Yeah, and that's probably why he decided he's gonna go kill all the people that they created. They're like, oh, these guys don't understand what sacrifice means.
Right. Well, they already had plans before, right? The ship, when he opened up the previous schematics,
Oh,
were all set.
well, it was probably just to go visit Earth. It wasn't probably to go annihilate the planet because uh they showed all the different civilizations throughout time. They were visited by the engineers,
Right.
and then it didn't kill them at any of those moments.
That's true. Yeah. Well, when they visited, they made it sound like they saw the stars constellation.
Well, they showed they mentioned that those stars, those constellations, were like what the engineers were telling them where they were, so that whenever they have advanced enough technology to come visit us, we're here.
Oh,
This is where we are.
gotcha. Because yeah, they were like, we can't
Because
see it with the natural eye.
each of the ones that they pointed out was a big giant being showing tiny beings pointing at the stars and saying, "This is where we're from."
Right. Right. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So maybe they were just gonna
At
do
least
their checkup.
that's how the scientists interpreted those drawings or carvings.
Right. Yeah. No, that makes sense enough to me. Um.
Granted, one of
So
them was the Mayan spaceman. It had nothing to do with the a big giant alien showing humans stars. I was like, hey, not like the rest. You know that one.
that's funny. One of these is not
I
like
want
the
to know
rest.
about the Mayan spaceman. There's a Mayan like tablet. Fucking, it looks like it definitely looks like a being inside of a fucking spaceship. It's so like I don't know if it's because I heard that before I saw the picture, but it's what it looks like. It was in the
Right.
movie. It's unimportant, but it was funny.
That's cool.
Uh,
It's cool lore. Like cool
well, like I
lore
said, I think
information.
all those carvings they showed are actual carvings in our world, except for or in real life, except for the one they found in Scotland, because that was found in they found it in 2077 or whatever the fuck year this took
That's
place
pretty
in.
cool.
Yeah.
Adds like an extra like depth to it.
Well, that's why there's what the fuck's that show called? Ancient Aliens has like 11 seasons. Just because of all the what looks like alien shit in old. um civilization stuff.
Right. Those shows are cool.
It
They
got
really
pretty bad towards the end.
they know how to ham it up, man. They know how to like add the
Yeah,
shots and the dramatic music. They ham that shit up. I'm like, oh baby, on the edge of my seat. I love it. Those and then the conspiracy ones with all the reenactments.
yeah,
I love watching that shit, dude. Just for like the action, whether or not I believe it, who gives a shit? It's just exciting. um, but yeah, dude. Fucking let's see. End of the movie is pretty much coming up quick, I guess, because at that point they they leave. They have the whole fight with the alien. Um,
yeah.
which I guess oh yeah, the new alien gets born. I forgot. So the new alien gets born at the very end, and I was wondering, wouldn't he just die? Because there's no
Uh,
space. There's no like he can't live out there. He doesn't have a spacesuit, so he can't leave that little cryo chamber, or not cryo chamber, but like the little house that she had, her own personal house.
yeah.
He can't go anywhere, so it's not like he could go breed or do anything special. So eventually he would just die. But they made it seem like a big deal, right? Like he's back. I'm like, where's he gonna go? He can't do. He's dead. Like him showing up doesn't really add anything.
Maybe
Um,
it just shows you that they have the capacity to create those things or something.
right. Because I do think overall it does seem like the aliens were an accident, which I think
Right.
is kind of obvious.
It's weird because there's like what was it the xenomorph's head on a cave painting in the fucking place where they have the black goo. Like
Right.
on one of the walls,
You seen
there's a
that? Yeah.
xenomorph like propped up like a Jesus pose, and then a
Yeah.
bunch of
Yeah.
shit. Like it looks like a mural, like a religious mural or some shit. So
Right. As if that was the being they were trying to go for.
right,
It'd be interesting to think though, then like when I talked about before having those worms in there, if the worms were actually there on purpose and that was a breeding chamber,
yeah.
because that worm is what eventually caused all. No, it wasn't the worm, was it?
No, the worm didn't do anything.
No, because
Uh,
yeah, I was thinking like if the worm is what actually eventually caused that,
no,
but that's
it was
that's the
just the
baby.
black goo and the person having sex with what's her face, and then she had the weird life form growing inside of her that sprouted out of her.
Right.
Or it didn't sprout out of her; she pulled it out, but it looked like it still developed. I guess without her, whatever.
Which is weird. Yeah, it
And then
looked like a
it
squid too. It was like a squid, then it
yeah,
turned into a giant face hugger.
yeah.
I don't know.
Uh,
Yeah, weird stuff. So I guess the worms have nothing to do with life. Maybe it's just any amount of life.
yeah.
Hmm. Still interesting though. That even if that, so if we can imagine that that black goo is purposeful, I still it's weird because we have evidence in the beginning that shows that didn't it turn into humans?
The goo.
Yeah, well we don't know what they drank, but I assume the black goo was what was in.
Well, they said that the engineers' DNA is human DNA, so they're like evolved engineers. I guess I don't.
Right.
Uh,
Or devolved, right? Maybe they like
we
they
don't
just
know.
they
Yeah, we
put
maybe
their
devolved, but we don't know. The movie doesn't answer these questions. It just poses a bunch of questions. It doesn't answer any of them.
right.
Um,
There's also a non-zero chance that this is like a mutation that sucks. Um,
right.
that like because that little mural thing you're talking about that could have been like not important in the sense that that's how do you say it? It could have just been a picture of what this was testing for.
Mm.
You know, like, oh, what are these supposed to turn into? This is DNA that turns into this guy, and then it just shows the picture of the alien. And maybe they were trying to have them as pets or something, like some sort of experiment.
Mhm.
Because it does seem like that goo is different than the goo that homie drank to turn all the humans into them on Earth. And
Maybe
it's
we
it's
don't
it's
know
it's in a
for
different
sure.
installation too. Like this is all like self-contained at this installation somewhere.
Hmm.
So it's like, okay, if this goo is different than the goo they normally use, that would make sense as to why it turns into aliens and uncontrollable and stuff. Because they were trying to do some experiment to like make themselves better or make a separate species to co-live or something. Um, I don't know. Yeah, like you said, a lot of questions, a whole bunch of nothing in this movie, but it was still fucking awesome.
It did feel like the xenomorph was a complete like accident.
Right.
So
Yeah, because it even turned into it was like growing its extra jaw at the end,
right.
or like its inner mouth thing. So it does seem like it was.
It probably ends up touching the black goo, then it evolves into the alien queen, and then it starts hatching eggs. I don't know, but
Yeah, that's close enough that to believable, right?
Yeah.
Um, we'll see. I'm excited to see the next one. This is why I really like this movie. And as long as
Right.
the next one is good, I'm gonna be pretty fucking mad though. Like, cause I just cause I skipped to the ending, I'll pretty much give this movie like an 8, cause it was fucking awesome. Like, I really thoroughly enjoyed it. I had fun watching it. Just turned my brain off and really like it. There was no egregious mistakes that were like, oh, this is terrible. But if the second movie doesn't go like to where they're from, and we find more information and we get more details, and it's not super interesting, then that's gonna, I think, affect this movie, and I might drop it down on feel points because a setup movie is only good and fun and great as a setup movie. If the movie it sets up sucks, I mean, I guess this is still good. It'd still be an 8, but I don't know. It left me with the expectation of something more, and if I know
Yeah.
that that's not there, then what's the point in watching this movie ever again? You know?
Yeah. I I give it a 6.5 just because of the weird inconsistencies and too many questions, not enough answers.
Right.
Uh, and then it would the whole like Wayland Corporation. I'm not sure like what the fuck. But it's fine. She survived. We get to see where she goes, but clearly she doesn't bring back any of the information to Earth. Uh,
Oh yeah. So it's like a Rogue One situation.
yeah.
That's fine as long as I get the answers I need. Fuck Earth.
uh, we'll see. Or the
Right.
next when we watch the next one. So yeah, I'll give it a 6.5. Um,
Cool.
still
Very
in the
short one
realm of
today.
good one. Yeah.
And I
Well,
think we even did a
I
bit of
know.
fumbling
An hour.
because there's not much
A
to
little bit
say.
of right.
We did a little bit of padding in here. You guys are probably like, whoever's sticking around is like, man, this episode sucks. Yeah, kind of. There's not much to say, right? Uh, but for all the people that
Yeah.
are sticking around, thank you. I don't know we've been doing this for a while, so I guess it's
Yeah.
important to say that if you are a consistent viewer and you do
I
like
mean,
this
there was a
shit,
lot more crew than I thought. Like at the beginning of the movie, like, they were like briefing everyone on the mission. I guess they only got the officers, right? They all the higher ups at the briefing, and I was like, oh, this is the guy, this is the crew. And then fuck, I know that there was the little crew of 19 or something like that at the beginning of the whenever the spaceship was flying towards the Prometheus or the engineer's planet.
mhm,
Um, every time a red shirt would show up, I'm like, that guy's about to die. Sure enough, he dies.
feels bad.
Every time every time one of the main like non-main guys showed up, I'm like, that guy's about to die.
Poor
Uh,
guys.
you know. But other than that, it was alright. I don't think I might rewatch it after we watch the next one just to see if I could pick up any more information out of it. But
Right.
ugh, yeah,
Yeah,
I don't want
overall,
to rewatch it.
pretty pretty good setup, but yeah, no, it's a setup. There's nothing there. There's no
Right.
substance. It's the fucking appetizer before the meal.
So Alien Covenant is the next one.
All right.
I don't know if it's on anything for free.
That's fine. We'll figure it out.
To Amazon. All right. That's it.
Do what?
Say the things.
Yep.
We got the ratings.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I was finished what I was doing. Pretty much just giving
Oh.
thanks to all the people hanging out, because
All right.
we don't say that enough. That if you are just suffering through this shit, listen to us talk about it. You know, it's always nice to.
Nah, fuck you
know.
guys. Leave angry comments.
You guys are always appreciated. So, as a tradition, like and subscribe. Engagement is good.
Leave an angry comment. Leave a thumbs down. Engagement is good.
And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.